Getting a glass of fresh, clean water in Seattle is pretty easy, right? It's available in every home, every restaurant, every water fountain across the city. But have you ever wondered where it actually comes from? Your water begins its journey far from the city. Welcome to the Cedar River Watershed. This place is absolutely essential. It provides about 70% of the clean, fresh water to the Seattle metro area. The other 30% comes from the Tolt River watershed. Millions of people rely on this water. Stewarding it helps make sure it's there for everyone now and in the future. Even though it looks quiet out here, it's far from unattended. Teams of hydrologists, biologists, maintenance crews, chemists, educators, microbiologists, and others quietly show up to work here every day. Together, they help protect and care for this place we all depend on, keeping our water safe, clean, and reliable. So why all this effort? Well, water shaped this region. Rivers and oceans are ancient highways and food sources for tribal communities. Indigenous people have stewarded this land and water since time immemorial. Their deep knowledge and relationship with the environment continue to guide how this precious, shared resource is cared for today. Settlers reshaped this landscape, but quickly learned the importance of caring for the water. By 1889, water standards among settler communities weren't that high. On June 6, a small fire started in a carpenter's shop when a pot of glue overheated. It quickly spread from building to building as nearly everything around it was made of wood. Even the water pipes were made of hollowed out logs. That's how the Great Seattle Fire began. As fire crews tried to use more hoses, the water pressure dropped, cutting off the water supply when it was needed most. Firefighters and residents didn't give up. They tried pumping water from their cellar sea, but the tide was low, and they couldn't reach enough water to fight the flames. The fire took over, destroying much of the city. Seattle learned something that day, and it made a choice. Water wasn't something we could take for granted. It was something worth protecting together. Today, Seattle Public Utilities manages more than 100,000 acres among its two watersheds. You've seen a soccer field, right? That's more than 56,000 of them. Our water quality experts test over 20,000 samples every year, and our teams constantly work to strengthen the system's resilience. You have to stay on your toes when your neighbor is a massive volcano with many names such as Tacobit and Mount Rainier. There's a lot of hard and often invisible work behind every drop of water. It's a precious, shared resource. When you use water wisely, you're part of that responsibility too. So please, don't waste it. Because this unseen work is what makes everyday life possible.
Hi, my name is Claudia. Claudia, with an O. I live in Seattle. I'm in charge of the rain here. Not to brag, but I do a pretty good job. Ow! But the story isn't about me. It's about the people who help the water cycle keep moving smoothly and without interruptions. A long time ago, things were much simpler. Rainwater fell on forests and eventually flowed into the Salish Sea, where I could drink it up. But now, with the whole city sitting in the middle of that cycle, things are a little more complicated. As you might imagine, rainwater doesn't magically disappear from paved streets. Neither does the water from your toilet, by the way. That's where SPU's invisible work quietly begins. They manage a complex network of stormwater and sewer pipes, drainage ditches and culverts, making sure water from the city can safely return to the environment. And that's just the beginning. Unfortunately, water doesn't just flow through the city. It also picks up pollutants like tire dust along the way, which can harm salmon and other aquatic life. And that's not okay. To help protect local waterways, SPU develops green infrastructure projects across the city. We retrofit pipes and build storage. These systems guide stormwater to be filtered or stored before it reaches creeks, lakes, and rivers. The goal is to work with nature, to better integrate the city into the natural water cycle, while minimizing our footprint. But the story doesn't end there. SPU works to prevent the wrong things from going down the drain or into waterways through education, inspection, and treatment. The water that flows through the sewer system goes into treatment plants. When we all do our job together, clean water is safely returned to the Salish Sea, and the cycle starts again, just like in nature. Well, maybe a little more complicated. All of this happens without most people even thinking about it or even noticing. Pretty cool, right? However, we're all part of this system, and together, we can make it better. For example, by keeping pollution like fats, oils, and grease out of the system, because they can cause serious problems for everyone downstream. Also, by reporting suspicious spills on the road whenever you see them. And by planting trees in your neighborhood and mulching your yard. Water shapes how Seattle looks, feels, and functions, in obvious ways and subtle ones. And SPU drainage and wastewater works every day to support me making sure water moves safely and efficiently, in, out, and around Seattle. Invisibly.
Are we recording? Dear Seattleites and visitors to our city, we're members of the Seattle Public Utilities team, responsible for solid waste. You've probably seen us out on the streets.
You've definitely ignored us a few times.
Come on, man. The success of our work really depends on your cooperation. And let's just say, sometimes even Seattle weather is more predictable than people.
People, I'd rather deal with those silly clouds. Ugh. A plastic bottle? In the compost?
Oh, my tummy.
All right, here's how the system should work in an ideal world. There are 3 main types of solid waste. Metal, paper, cardboard, glass, and plastic bottles go into recycling. All food scraps, like meat, fruit and vegetable peels, eggshells, coffee, cut flowers, and yard waste, go into compost. And everything else, except hazardous items, goes into the garbage. Think about it. One correct decision sets an entire system in motion. Recyclables go straight to a materials recovery facility, where they're sorted by type and sent to recyclers to be made into new things. Compost and garbage are taken to a transfer station, where they're unloaded, inspected, compacted into large containers, and sent onward. Our transfer station is a state-of-the-art facility that handles massive amounts of waste every day, all run by a small, highly efficient team. And while you mostly see our trucks out on the road, there's a lot of advanced technology working behind the scenes. But at the heart of it all, it's still people. So please make sure only accepted recyclables end up in your recycling cart. After the transfer facility, garbage goes to a landfill. Organic waste gets put into big piles to make compost for local farms, gardens, and parks, helping grow new food, just like that. Thanks to thoughtful planning and strong community support, Seattle has become a global leader in solid waste management.
But we could still do better.
Exactly. We just need a little help from you. Sort your waste correctly.
Try to prevent wasting food in the first place. Buy only what you know you'll eat and enjoy those delicious leftovers. But give me all your food trimmings and scraps.
And whenever possible, avoid creating waste in the first place. Reuse, repair, and share.
Do your small part, and we will take care of the rest.